How can anyone beat Sukuna now unless another plot device is introduced that would lead readers to feel like it's contrived? Sukuna has an instant win condition since he can now cut anything in the entire world. But the truth is, Sukuna's power-up was foreshadowed as it returns us to his battle against Mahoraga. Remember when it was able to deflect his cleave? He noted that Mahoraga could actually see it. Therefore, it's a nod to the fact that Mahoraga could see the essence of his curse technique and adapt his curse energy to be able to defend and deflect it. Although this leads me to another question as to why Gojo with the 6 eyes was not able to notice it, but Sukuna did. We were told in chapter 230 that Gojo knows Mahoraga's moves, and he deduced everything on how he survived his domain expansion. Even in 228, we witness his ability to decipher Sukuna's plan. On top of that, his 6 eyes can detect curse energy changes at an atomic level. So why didn't Gojo notice this? The man noticed Toji Fushiguro, the man that doesn't have an ounce of curse energy and was undetectable to the whole world, but why not this? The only reason I can logically think is Gege trying to highlight the difference in knowledge that Sukuna possesses, his superior understanding of techniques, just as he stated to Jogo that cursed spirits wouldn't know about how he copied his abilities. The second reason is Gege not wanting to reveal Sukuna's trump card just yet, as we still don't know the truth about his technique. And the last one I can think of is, well, Gege wanted Gojo to die.
I'm blocking you. That was the dumbest shit I heard all day.
The funny thing is, Gege hates Gojo so much that he timed his death with the anime onlys watching him being sealed this week. We lost him twice, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine anime onlys reading the manga after his sealment to find out what happens. They're gonna react like this. We've seen Sukuna proclaim that he will kill Gojo from the time he was humiliated in the first chapter, even stating that as soon as he gains all of his powers, he'd straight away go for Gojo's neck, which turned out to be true. But with this, Gojo is also acutely aware of his own damned fate, and there have been plenty of hints that he would die a bloody death from the very beginning. In chapter 2, Gojo admits to Yuji that sorcerers often end up with their bodies torn apart after running into curses. Furthermore, even our predictions in our weekly reviews came true, where ironically in chapter 13, Gojo in a light-hearted way spoils the ending of a movie, where an annoying heroine dies an awful death. What do people describe Gojo as? Annoying, spoiled brat, and now he's died an awful death. On top of that, Gojo himself states to Megumi in chapter 58 that no matter how many allies you have around you, you die alone. Whilst fans believe this to be a potential foreshadowing of Yuji's death, whose wish was to die surrounded by the people he loves, it might have been a premonition. Later in chapter 224, Sukuna states that Gojo is just another fish on the cutting board waiting to be sliced. So while Sukuna failed a ton of times, he did manage to slice his fish. And the nail in the coffin literally is in chapter 232. There's a halo on top of Gojo's head, along with Mei Mei's murder of crows, where the metaphor is literally interpreted as death is to come. In the end, Gojo decided he would fight Sukuna on December 24th, in honor of his late best friend Geto. Whilst Kenjaku made a taunt about how romantic this is, Gojo was dead serious about preserving Geto's death anniversary and making sure that he can remember Geto in the best way imaginable. However, this was a foreshadowing to a poetic ending to Gojo and Geto's characters, two best friends dying on the same day, leading to an interesting conversation where Gojo finds himself sitting with Geto in his final moments, similar to how in chapter 120, Nanami saw the spirit of Haibara at the verge of death. Although he expresses annoyance at Geto accompanying him in his death because he did state to his students that people die alone. However, he still starts talking frankly and opening up, hinting at something regarding Toji Fushiguro, as Gojo is now not able to tell Megumi about everything he promised, but he entrusted it to Shoko. This proceeds with Geto asking Gojo what it was like to fight Sukuna, the king of curses, and Gojo admits that he was really strong. And here's where things go downhill, as Gojo proceeds to say that Sukuna didn't even go all out. And frankly, when I read this,
Pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
Gojo breaks down and makes the entire community question his character development, as he confides in Geto on how he would have still lost even if Sukuna didn't have the 10 shadows. Not only does this contradict the whole fight we have been witnessing, with Sukuna literally stressing out for the first time in a millennium, but also Sukuna's own explanation on how he won, where only with Maharaga's blueprint was he able to get the win conditions to defeat Gojo. Sukuna even gives Gojo the proper respect and states he will be remembered forever, as the only way these two strongest could have purged their loneliness and feel satisfaction is through fighting at full power. Gojo's heartfelt admission of being the weaker one pretty much undermines his character. Now, to enjoy more peak fiction, why not watch the video on your screen right now regarding Boruto's time skip? It has finally started.